Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Brian over here with Connecting Communities. Probably makes sense if I have the correct background on. Today's guest, you know him as Alan, and I know him as Alan. So, Alan, hello. How are you?
Great, Brian. Thanks for having me. Good to see you again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be able to hang out with you. I used to be you, Alan.
Oh,
Used to be the go-to guy when it came to networking. And then COVID happened. And I am not as strong as I once was. However, I'm getting back up there. I love being able, like you, to connect people together. But you have a great conversation with loads of people all throughout where you're able to do that. So what do you feel like your driving force is between that?
absolutely. So you and I met on a networking call. And
No.
Where did we meet?
You don't remember?
I do not remember.
I am devastated right now,
We've
Alan.
been friends forever.
This podcast is over. We do appreciate our sponsors, Health Pure and Simple and Apollo, other side, as well as Community Pay It Forward. Like Alan, Zach does some amazing things for nonprofits. Alan, so sorry about the technical difficulties. You have a great day. No, I'll keep you aside. Okay, so let me tell you how we met. True story. I'm driving to Philadelphia to meet with another client. Everyone knows Dr. Stephen Green.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm chatting with my buddy, Nick, which I can actually say now. Nick is going to be our co-host for Parenthood, the Higher Road Taken. So I'm super excited with that. So Nick and I are sitting there chatting, and he's like, why are you going to Philadelphia? Are you meeting Alan? And I said, no, but who's Alan? He's like, you got to meet this guy, Alan. I'm like, okay. So I searched you on Facebook and I said hello, and we chatted as I was driving. And you would not accept my Facebook friend request.
Because I had not met you before.
I called you out on it. You said, I only accept people that I meet in person. And I said, I'm going to be in Philadelphia. But we did not, we were not able to make it work. So we have not met face to face.
But we've met because of people we network with. So technically I am right.
No, you're wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you said we met in a networking group and we did not.
Well, that's true. Okay. But look at the connections that you made, because you say I'm a connector. Look at the connections you made as well. And don't downplay yourself.
Oh, no. Listen, everyone that knows me, Alan, knows I am the one that's promoting myself, right? I don't use the word just, because I think anytime you disclaim that, right, you're putting what you're doing down, whether you're a waiter at Red Lobster, and
Absolutely.
For the waiters at Red Lobster, we love your chicken cheddar biscuits. That's what I'm saying. Or you're a garbage man, or you're the CEO of whatever company. It's not just, right? We all have purpose in this life. So that's one of the things that just is one of my biggest pet peeves, especially in networking. You would be so surprised. Do you find that people are, I just do this, or I'm only this?
Well, thinking about our conversation today and why we're chatting today, I was only in the nonprofit space and my side hustle. But because of the pandemic and everything, I've added to my repertoire of things that I provide people. And I mean, everyone can grow. Everyone can add to the things that they provide. Just think outside the box and see how you can make new connections in any which way.
I 100% agree.
Speaking
of your nonprofit, I mean, it's just one of the many things. You're an uncle, right? You're a photographer. You are a world traveler. And I honestly mean world traveler. What I did not know is that you're a bowler. Are you good?
I am okay, depending on who you talk to. My bowling average is a 140. My high game is a 197.
Better than me. I'm a 135 on a good day with no drinks.
Well, I'm on a bowling league every summer.
So you're dancing on Fridays and you're bowling in the summer.
Yes.
Okay. Is that part of your, for folks that don't know, he mentioned a side hustle, which really isn't a side hustle for him. It's just something else that he does. So I don't know why you use that word. Is that part of your healthy choices? Is still being active and doing
Well,
those
so
live events as well as what
I,
you do?
I tell everyone, find out what you do for fun and find out how you can make it an active lifestyle. So I do beach body workouts. That for me is a lot of fun. But my other exercise, bowling, it's a workout.
Yeah.
Dancing, it's a workout. Walking with my nephew and niece, definitely is a workout. Anything you do, figure out how you can make it an active part of your life.
Now, he didn't mention his photography skills, but if you see him and his cats, you'll understand what that looks like. I love these pictures, especially before he goes on a cruise and right after he gets back. There are loads of pictures of him and his cats. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yes, but don't forget the dogs.
Well, duh. Duh on the dogs. But I see more than the cats than I do on the dogs, Alec. So now with your nonprofit, you have what, 12 years in marketing,
So
basically promoting businesses while serving your local community. You just got done volunteering and I saw you met somebody. Oh, who did you meet? So I was like, oh my God, they're together in HMP. Was it
so
Amy?
so I met Amy, I met Deborah, I met Lynn, I met Ken, and we gave out fresh produce where I work. I wasn't volunteering because that's my job. I got paid to do that. They volunteered though.
Got it. Fair enough. See, keeping it honest, keeping it transparent. Why don't you share what you do with that nonprofit?
Absolutely. So I tell everyone I have 12 years of marketing experience in the nonprofit sector. And I've been with the nonprofit I've been at now for almost 5 of those 12 years. We provide food, housing, and education throughout the suburbs of Philadelphia in Montgomery and Upper Bucks counties. And what I've started to do on networking calls, go to my local chapter and see if I can gather volunteers to help serve the nonprofit. But I also use networking to expand my reach and promote small businesses through gift baskets. So HMP Hawaii is doing a Hawaiian gift basket for us. We've had people from Florida, the UK, Idaho send me stuff that I would not have met if not for networking. It's incredible.
Yeah. No, I love that reach that you have, and it's authentic, right? I mean, I don't want to say your newest because now it's probably 6 months old, but your most recent is creating backgrounds, virtual backgrounds for HMP members.
Absolutely.
Why do
And
you feel like virtual backgrounds are important?
well, on any networking group you do, you only have a certain time span to tell your pitch. After you go, the next person will go and it will continue until the room is clear. If you're the first one, by the time you get to the last person, you're not going to remember your pitch, but you'll remember what their background says. And on calls like Happy Neighborhood Project, there's a photo taken of the room and it's posted and it's shared. And in that photo, if you see a background, you remember what that person does. It builds that reputation.
It's the top of mind, right? Especially if you know, oh, I know Brian, he has that crazy character logo, and then you could just visualize and see that fairly quickly.
And
I'm a firm believer that you also, when you have shirts, put it on your back as well. Because here's what happens, guys. No, I'm not no one. 95% of people aren't going to come back to you and say, I'm so sorry, what's your name? Right? But if they're walking away and now they see it on the back of the shirt, now they don't have to ask you. And now they can reach out to you.
so, Brian, when I met you, you told me that you could help people make billboards. And I consider myself doing that before a Zoom screen.
Absolutely. Virtual screens, our backgrounds are just another avenue on digital billboards. It's just, again, another top of mind. You could change it up. I mean, I have a variety. I know you have a variety, right?
I do
I
have
mean,
a
mine go
variety.
everything where we're talking digital billboards, right? All the way to other additional services that I'm doing, to again, here we are with our podcast. So keeping it active, keeping it fresh is super important, especially for folks like us that come in contact with so many different people. And especially when you're walking into a virtual networking group, sometimes you're timid, right? And you don't know to ask those questions, or you're looking through the list of the saved chat and you're trying to figure out who that person was. But if I don't know what his name was, but I know he was wearing a hat, or I know that his background had, a computer monitor on it, then it's just another avenue, another another piece for that. What's
Absolutely.
the best thing for you out of H&P?
I mean, this podcast, for one, making these new relationships has been incredible because I started networking. Honestly, I had a ton of free time and I'd rather talk to people than watch TV. And because of networking, I can hop on pretty much any hour of the day and talk to friends anywhere. It's been
Right.
incredible.
No,
And
it's kind of like AOL chat, right? But it's
yes,
ongoing and
but
and
don't
a lot more
forget,
professional.
but you told me I'm a world traveler. I travel a ton. And now I don't need to pay for a hotel because I have friends all over the world. And if I'm ever in Ohio, I'm calling you up. Hey, can I crash on your couch?
No, I'm charging you to stay in this Airbnb. Okay, business is business. No, I totally understand that. Being a military brat, I graduated in the UK. I mean, I have friends literally over everywhere. I can go to every state and find someone. In fact, two of my really good friends, one just moved to the same state, and now I'm so jealous because I see them getting together on holidays and their kids are playing, and I'm like, I want to be a part of that. But I'm here in Ohio and they are not. So tell me about Philadelphia. What does the Philadelphia area look like for you as far as additional networking, like face to face?
So my networking is different than most. Because I work in a nonprofit, we're invited to a lot of fairs and festivals. And at those fairs and festivals, it's a lot of other resource agencies, but also a lot of other small Main Street businesses. And that's what I love to get in front of. Because I tell every Main Street business that you can also network. Because I go to HMP Pennsylvania, and I would not have met any of those people in my local backyard, but I meet them on a Pennsylvania Zoom call. And I tell every realtor, banker, plumber, electrician, do online networking because you don't know the reach that you can get.
I am blown away that I don't have more Ohio people in the Ohio rooms than I have the others. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, again, keeping it not so local and to be able, especially for folks that can do business internationally. I mean, I have clients in Canada. I have clients like you in the UK. I wouldn't have been able to do that while I was just staying local and growing myself around my 25-mile radius.
And you have to remember, everyone you meet knows another 500 to 1,000 people that they could potentially introduce you to.
Absolutely. It's all about, I mean, we're business owners. It's all about prospecting and building those relationships and figuring out what you can do for others and what they're able to do for you. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're with the hopes for, right? Is we're going to put things in this pool and I'm going to run across someone. I mean, you are great with being able to connect folks. Hey, Bob, here's Brian. He does XYZ. Bob is looking for XYZ. Take care, and then you slide out, or sometimes you get dragged into that conversation for, 3 or 4 days. Yeah, I mean, I love those introductions I've gotten from you. I think I've sent you some introductions, maybe I haven't. If I haven't, I'm a failure. Yeah, I think relationships as a whole is super important, which leads me to your favorite quote. You want to share? Do you remember?
No.
He's like, I don't know. So I just created a form, guys, that our guests can fill out. And one of the questions on there is your favorite quote. But prior to this meeting, when we were talking about his biography and so forth, he was like, I sent you that? See, he networks so much, he doesn't even know what forms he fills out. So let's see what your quote is. It was something about smiling, if memory serves me correct. Always find a reason to smile. I've never seen you upset. Do you get upset, Alan?
Rarely, but yes. Everyone gets upset for some reason, but you have to find a reason to change your attitude and put a smile on.
How hard is it for you to how hard is it for you to divide those areas? So if you got off of a negative call and you're hopping onto H&P as a captain, right? Because you're a captain now, right?
I am a captain, yeah.
Pretty important, guys. So how do you flip that switch and always keep that smile?
So I tell all of my networking friends, you've done how many one-on-one Zoom calls? Make a list of your top 5 that right in your day that you can just say, hey, can you hop on Zoom real quick? I need to cheer up. And I guarantee if you meet with any of them, just like you and I are doing now, we've smiled pretty much half this conversation. Find people that will just 5 minutes hop on a Zoom call with you and brighten your day, and it will change your world.
Agreed. I had that person for me. I think we
It's
all
not
know
me. I know that.
good old Nick Davis, right? When I need to kind of be a little bit more rejuvenated. Nick and I are very much alike as far as our personalities, our gung-ho-ness, our energetic. Alan is very much like that as well, except he's a little bit more refrained and controllable. He doesn't just go off and go, and he will pull us back. So no, I think that is the best advice that you can give is find your happiness, talk to him for 5 minutes, and then continue on with your day. So
Absolutely.
Zoom backgrounds we talked about the the those. We talked about the importance of marketing. What about the important, I got this cough that I cannot get rid of. It's sitting right here in my chest. What about the importance of follow-up with networking? Not only is it important to show up, but then you gotta follow up. Because if you're not following up after that one-on-one or creating a one-on-one, what you just did made no difference.
I want to go beyond that because follow-up is crucial. But also, I tell everyone, talk again in 4 to 6 months because you don't know who now they've met in networking. So with our relationship, I've known you for what, a year and a half now?
July of last year.
July, yeah, okay. So a year and 3 months.
Yeah.
But I tell everyone,
you know the date? No, just okay.
I'm not that good.
I do know the date, so just saying.
But everyone that you talk to, keep that relationship going because I've been on your podcast more than once now. I've sent you referrals multiple times, and that's what the relationship and the follow-up is about. Because if you and I only had one Zoom call, you'd probably never hear from me again. But because we keep that bond and that relationship going, I know you, you know me, we know what referrals we're looking for, and we can keep that relationship flowing.
That is perfect sense. It's why I run the business that I run. It's why I have our Staying Connected program, which is a monthly program, because now we are talking and engaging every month, right? We're staying top of mind. So if I did social media for you and it was the best social media you've ever had, like you made thousands of dollars on social media because of me, you probably won't, okay? I'm just saying, not thousands, at least not in the short term, okay? But let's just say, and then we end our relationship because you move on to other projects or whatnot. Probably 3 months after that, we're not going to talk anymore. Because no one's really going to come to you and say, oh my God, your social media platform was so great. What's it going now? You know, that's the only way that you're going to bring me up. But if we're talking every month and someone goes, oh, who's doing your social media? Or I have social media issues, you're going to be more inclined to remember me and say, hey, I got Brian. He's taking care of my social media, right? He's keeping it all authentic and organic. So that's where that top of mind in those relationships. It's not just a one touch and I'll see you again, right?
Absolutely.
It's building that. Knowing that on Friday nights you're going dancing, don't text him, right? It's seeing you. Sidebar, he has now accepted me as a friend on Facebook. I had to work really hard for that. I'm just saying. But now I get to see the pictures of the cats, right? I get to see his vacations. I get a little peek in his area of life outside of him networking, because we're all different networking than we are in life, right? It doesn't have to be extreme different, but it's just different. There's things that we talk about, the things that we do that we would not do in networking, unless you meet on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. and then things are off limits. Speaking of meeting on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., your recent baby meets at Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern?
5 Eastern, pet lovers.
Pet lovers.
So,
let me tell you, I've never seen so many animals in this Zoom. I don't even know if there's humans there. That's all I'm saying. Like it's absolutely amazing. So that's one of 2 meetings. You also run LGBTQ plus supporting communities. Is that the proper name?
So LGBTQ supporting business people.
Supporting business people.
As well as
so
Pennsylvania.
You don't have to be a member of LGBTQ plus. You just got to support, hug, and high five that specific group. So it's a great open conversation. So yeah, I mean, those are 2 groups, and then you also captain Pennsylvania.
And Southern California.
You're there every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. For folks that remember, I actually co-hosted PA with Claudia. That's how she and I met. And you also I'm sorry, you also captain what others? I'm so sorry.
Southern California.
There it is. Southern. So he goes from PA to Southern California. So you will always see them there unless he has deserted us and he's on a ship. Okay. So he does save his nightly musical and Broadway shows for the evening or the weekends. So that is good. The one thing I also see is you make that a priority. You make networking a priority. And a lot of times what people do with marketing, because network is marketing in a sense, is that it takes a back seat. If something else comes up, then I'll network next week. I'll do social media next month. I'm going to cut that out of my budget. But what they don't realize is by the time that next week comes or that next month comes, the progress that they would have had, the 10 customers that they would have touched and had conversations with, and out of those 10, maybe 3 would have been finalization of sales or furthering a relationship to the next level, aren't happening. So now you're starting from scratch all over again. And guys, it's a whole lot easier to get to the top from here than it is from here because the frustration sets in. I've done this before, right? So the longer you backseat your networking, the harder it's going to have you maximizing those results. Would you agree with that, Alan?
I would, absolutely. And HMP has the co-op, which is a great referral piece because, I mean, I loved you before, but now when I send people to you and they buy from you, I get points for referring. And they get points for doing business with you. Yeah. And it's a great way to be top of mind always.
It's a great alternative to a BNI, is what I feel, right? Without the commitment. You don't have to come every meeting.
Right.
You don't have to come every week. You still need to be active. And obviously, if you're at that level, you're going to be active, right? But you're still in control. BNI works because there's systems in place to make BNI work. I'm not taking away from that. But financially and the time commitment is very hard for a small business owner. Even harder for a small business owner. Okay, so Alan, we have a couple quick questions.
Go for it.
And then we're going to wrap this up. You ready?
Yep.
This is a very important conversation and would determine our friendship.
Go for it.
Cake or pie?
Pie.
Okay. I can go with that. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Okay. Here's the important one. Google, let me rephrase that. Android or Apple?
Apple.
You lost me, bro.
I'm sorry.
You were that close.
I'm sorry.
Apple, really?
Yeah.
Why Apple over Android?
Well, so I was never Apple. Yeah, I don't be mad at me. I used to be BlackBerry.
I was BlackBerry. Listen, I loved my little BlackBerry.
But I was introduced to Apple, and I don't own anything other than the phone and the watch. I have a PC. I'm not going anything else with Apple, but I love my phone.
I think I'm afraid of Apple. I've never touched it. Right. So sorry. So yeah, I've never touched it. So it's a little, my finger memory is off, right? Like I'm like, it doesn't do this. Jackson has a Apple phone and he's like, you gotta swipe up, Dad. You gotta do this, Dad. I'm like, no. So that is I do have a Galaxy watch. I'm all about Samsung. What about this? You ready?
Yeah.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Why?
It's sweeter.
Exactly. Don't you want the stuff that actually disintegrates the rat in the Mountain Dew bottle fizzing down your throat? Dr. Pepper takes rust off of items. Don't you want that amazing feeling eating at your esophagus? Hello. Are you a water guy?
I'm a flavored water guy.
I'm a flavored water guy, and I've noticed I was eating 2 pounds of watermelon every day because I have issues with keeping my hydration up. I mean, it affects, listen, as guys, it affects us as well, right? We need to hydrate. My area, when I don't hydrate, is right here in the corner of my nose. What about you, Alan? Is it your hands, your arms? What gets dry on you?
On my hands.
Your hands. Okay. Yeah, mine is literally the corner of my noses. So nose, I only have one. So when I do my beard oil in the morning, I always put my beard oil over there as well. And then my nose runs. That's a whole other issue. But 2 pounds of watermelon every day. And I stopped doing that. And over the 3 days, I realized I've just kind of had coffee. And I think I had some diet or Coke Zero because I really try not to drink my calories. And I woke up last night and the night before, like I can't even stretch without having a cramp somewhere. And I'm like, I need a banana and I need some water.
Yeah.
So hydration and marketing is super important. That is the lesson today, ladies and gentlemen. Any last words for our audience, Alan?
Well, so I want to remind everyone why we started this call. Think outside the box of how you could refer people to your friends. I make a background and I ask everyone, do you have a website I can look at to make you a background off of? If they say no, that's how I make the referral happen. I want everyone to start thinking when they do one-on-one calls, think of specific questions you can ask people that will help your friends that you want to give referrals to, and have that conversation so that your friend might not know the person, but they can have this referral because you opened that door.
I 100% agree. Anytime that I'm meeting with a business owner, I always have a top 3 that I look at. I always make sure that I have some sort of accountant or a bookkeeper that's going to mesh with them, right? So I go through my Rolodex because I think as a business owner, you always have to have an accountant and a bookkeeper, both, because they keep you honest and they keep things in line. You also have to have some sort of a marketing person. Maybe it's an let's try one more time. Email marketing person, a website person, a social media person, whatever that looks like, have that in mind. And then last but not least, I always have some sort of an attorney or some sort of legal option for them. So I know, as we probably all do, 5 or 6 realtors, right? Or 5 or 6 people that are in Legal Shield. So you can match up Betty, who is 21-year-old, with Veronica, who is a 29-year-old Legal Shield rep. I would never put my 21-year-old woman with a 49-year-old man. It just wouldn't work, right? Typically speaking. So you want to make sure that people are comfortable, whether it's by demographic or by interests or common denominators. Maybe they're both parents, whatever it is that's going to build that connection for them. It's super important. Not only is it important to connect people, but you want to connect them right. Because what's the worst feeling is going, oh God, Brian has me meeting with someone again. It's Betty with Cutco, and she's going to show me knives. I don't need knives because I'm a vegetarian and I fish and I eat lettuce wraps, right? You know what I mean? So you want to make sure, listen, Cutco, you can still schedule meetings because there's a need. But my point is you want to make sure that both parties are understanding what the meeting is for, right?
Absolutely.
And with that being said, and then we'll end this conversation. What is your thought process on referral bonuses or referral programs?
So I never ask anybody for anything because I honestly never thought I needed it. I probably don't need it. HNP, however, has it set up so that when I refer, if that person tells me how much they've spent with somebody, I can request points for that. And that's the only really thing I'm looking for. Because just like you say you want to be top of mind, I want to be on that leaderboard for HNP so that my name is always at the top.
No, great point. Saying that, I think referral programs and I cannot get rid of this cough. There it is. Got it. So I think referral programs are amazing. I think that they benefit both, right? As long as it's working for both ends. Now, saying that, me specifically, I don't do them. I feel like it would be a conflict of interest. And what do I mean? So if Alan were a client of mine and I'm going to put Alan with Bob, I need to, one, make sure that Bob knows that I'm giving him the best fit for Bob. And I need to make sure that Alan knows that Bob is the best fit for Alan. That I'm not doing it because I'm getting $25 from Bob just because they're meeting. right? So ethically, there's nothing wrong with it. I could totally do a referral program or take a referral piece of it. I just don't do it. Is it morally? Morally?
Yes.
It's just one of those compasses that I want to make sure I'm straight on, and that I'm super transparent with my clients, as well as my resource networking group outside of that, because I deal with folks more than just in my group as well. But those are the folks obviously I take care of with their needs. If someone is looking for someone, I'm going to go in-house first, right? And if I'm in-house and I go, I have 3 realtors, but they're really not the best realtor for them, but I know someone that I'm at in H&P that is, then I'm gonna go with the H&P, because at the end of the day, my motto is people over money, every day, all day. Because if you put people over money, money will come after people.
Mhm.
You can write that down. I just made that up. With that being said, I do want to make sure we send out a humongous, gigantic shout out to our sponsors, Health Pure and Simple, Apollo, and Community Pay It Forward. Alan, why don't you tell us really real quick how we could reach you in regards to your Beachbody, and maybe we might have some interest in donating some items to your gift basket, or creating a gift basket with maybe another partnership as well, which would again be a resource for you. So the floor is yours, my friend.
So my name's in my background. You can look me up LinkedIn. You can look me up on Facebook. I won't add you, but you can message me and let's have a conversation.
We'll add you. Look him up on LinkedIn. It's much better than Facebook. He's more active on LinkedIn. He does step down and talk to me and engage with me on Facebook, which I'm super appreciative. With that being said, can you remember your top 5? We'll go 5 on MySpace. Were you ones that would move your people to like a top 3 or top 5 if you got in an argument with someone or they just made you mad?
I do not remember my top 5.
Did you have MySpace at least?
I did. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
I fought going to Facebook. I was like, I'm not going to Facebook. I'm staying here on MySpace. Here we are, 15 years later. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your energy. We appreciate you spending time with us today. Stay tuned for our next episode. And other than that, have an amazing day. Take care.
Bye, everybody.